I just thought it was for my body, which it was for my body. You know, at my age, we have to tend all the joints and muscles and make sure they keep functioning. So I'm very interested in deepening my understanding of Kundalini and experience. So I am very grateful that you're here. I look forward to it every day. And or every day I look forward to it on Sunday. I should say it that way. So, and I appreciate that you send us the follow-up, because I do go back and check that too.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So Janice, Guido, Jarek, and Anna, I don't think I have your emails. So if you'd like today's information sent to you by email, it's all written out. What we're going to do, I'll send it to you, the exercises in all detail. Put your email into the text chat during this meeting with your name, or I can figure out your name by email, and then I will send it to you in short order. So thank you for mentioning that also, Mary. It's wonderful to have you here again, and I'm glad it's working for you. Janice, thanks for showing up. I don't know if you've joined us before. Okay, let me unmute you. All right, so what has caused you to grace us with your wonderful presence today?
I did the Finder's course and finished it at the end of March, and then I was quite busy, and so it's only recently that I've sort of decided to try and access some of the things that are available upon finishing Finder's course, and I thought that this session sounded interesting.
Cool, wonderful. Glad you're here. So the point of this meetup is that you get tangible life benefits during the meetup. You can actually feel it happening like now. You know, if you want techniques that you do them and then months and years later you start to notice the effects, don't come to this meetup. If you want techniques that work and you can feel them working and they're benefiting you like today, now, during the meetup, and then it just keeps getting better, then this is the meetup for you. So I'm not interested in stuff that you have to wonder whether it's working or not. I just want stuff that you can totally feel it. It's like, you know, it's effective, it's tangible, and you can know, oh yeah, this is working, right? I can feel it. I can tell. I don't have to go and, you know, wonder if I did something effective. So thanks very much for being here, and we're going to make that happen. So Guido, a sentence or two maybe about why you're here.
Yeah, for me it's quite similar. I just finished the Finder's course and read about this in the alumni newsletter, and yeah, sounds interesting, and that's why I'm here.
Perfect. Welcome. Glad having you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Jarek.
Hi everyone. I no, shortly the name of the meetup was kind of attractive to me, and for weeks already, and it's been a while I've been on any meetup, and today I find some time, so I thought I'd pop in. Yeah, I found quite. I don't know what we're going to be doing today, but I found that there are techniques that work right away. And they're quite good for me. The most powerful was the tapping thing so far, the ETF technique. So I thought I might find another one. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, the way this meetup goes is we do different ones almost every time.
Okay.
So you know, in the last 6 months, we must have done like 20 different techniques or so. So if you guys go onto the forum, where there's a subforum called Video Meetups, and underneath that there's a list of the different meetups, and there is one for clearing the subconscious. This meetup, there's a subforum where I've posted many of the past meetings in video. So I will post this one too, And there's a whole bunch of them that I haven't posted yet. Those are going to be posted in the next week or two, hopefully. But so we have a bunch of cool stuff on there that you can just go back and access and see the ones that you like. So thank you for being here, Jarek. And Anna or Anna, I want to get your name right. I hope you're hearing this, and I don't know if you're in a position to say anything or not, but if you are, you can say a little bit about why you've decided to join us. Okay, maybe not. All right. So anyway, welcome, Anna. Whatever condition that you're in, hopefully you're doing well. So let's get. Oh, there you are.
I am here. I woke up for a long time in the night, and I couldn't sleep, and then I went back to sleep, and I just woke up and I realized that I missed my EC group, and then that this group had already started. So I just stepped away for a second. I came last week, and I'm gonna start my video soon in a second, but I'm not like dressed at all. So I came last week. The techniques have worked really great. Maybe so great that I didn't actually, like when I was checking in for a few days, after doing it for a few days, I didn't feel like I was having any of those things happening anymore. And so I actually didn't have the I guess negative as those statements, but I did the freeze some, and some of the third one, the dissolving some, but yeah, anyway, it worked really well for me, and I appreciate it.
Okay, now let me make sure I got this right now. You did it quite a bit during the week, and it worked so well that you couldn't find the negative emotions anymore?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Great, you graduated.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So so the meetup from last week, guys, who haven't been here before, was a doozy. We taught 2 different ways of clearing negative emotions. Literally, once you learn how to do it, within 3 to 5 seconds, both methods work that fast. And then we also taught how to clear concepts, in effect, like limiting beliefs or other concepts that you don't need anymore. That meetup is actually posted on the forum, so you can go and learn how to do that. And I had a similar experience. I don't know if I accomplished it in a week, but after a month or two of doing the clearing, the dismissing technique, which I taught, yeah, it's like now I don't really have negative emotions anymore. And so it's utterly great. So so just a quick aside. So for those of you who were here last week, are there any questions about the technique that you want to ask right now before we get into new stuff? Okay, so Kundalini Yoga is what we're going to do today. We're going to do 2 different methods. And so the way this works is, first off, I'll just tell you up front, some of you didn't hear this at the beginning. So for the first exercise that we're going to do, you need a head covering, so because it's very intense and we don't want you to get a headache. So please go get a hat or scarf or shawl or something to put over your head. So now, if you will, and then you can benefit from the technique. So for the second exercise, you don't have to wear the head covering, or you can keep it on. It's up to you. So just waiting for Jarek here.
Well, how much do we need to cover our heads?
Who's asking this? Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
You're perfect. Just your crown, basically. You're doing great.
As long as it's not to please some god.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's to please the divinity of you. You are the God. The message of Kundalini Yoga is that human is divine. So let's get that clear out right up front. Okay, so so here's how the Kundalini Yoga works. In each of the sessions, we do a tuning in process, which I'll explain to you, and then we do whatever yogic exercises. In this case, I've mentioned that we're going to do 2 of them. And then we do a tuning out process where we kind of complete it. So let me review the tuning in and tuning out with you so you know what those are. So, okay. Right. So to start a Kundalini Yoga session, there's a mantra that we do, which is tuning into the divine energy of your, I just mentioned that you are divinity, so you want to tune into that. It's actually there whether you tune into it or not, but we're going to tune into it. And so that mantra is, misspelled, Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. We're going to recite that 3 times to start the process. So that's kind of just the invocation to get it going. All right, so then we'll do whatever yoga we do, and then we're going to end the Kundalini Yoga session with 2 things. One is this little song that I play, and you can either listen or sing along with it, which is called Long Time Sun. And then we'll do this mantra, Sat Nam, which is Sat Nam. Sat Nam means true name. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. That's the beginning and the ending process. Okay, so let's begin our session with that mantra that I just mentioned, Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. So rub your hands together and then place them here at the chest, and then just follow with me. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And just sit quietly for a minute. And you may notice that that mantra recitation brings about a sense of peace, connection, and tranquility, and just changes the atmosphere a bit, which is an apropos way to begin our practice. Okay, so the first practice we're going to do today is called the Inner Sun. So what this does is it activates the sun energy inside you, and it helps to burn out, so to speak, the issues that are bothering the immune system, viruses, bacteria, etc. But also it burns junk out of the mind. So I'll read you a few of the comments about this before we start. This advanced immune therapy hits at viruses and bacteria. The head must be covered or else you can get a headache. This is a kind of tantric kriya. The immune system interacts with the central nervous system, the glands, and emotions. We are each given the strength to encounter life and life's challenges. We have moral strength, mental strength, emotional strength, and physical strength. All these strengths are interconnected. We block the flow of that strength when we experience feelings of anger, self-defeat, and blame. To boost the immune system, we must overcome these blocks. The right hemisphere of the brain stores many of the diffuse negative emotions that lead us to depression and to a lower functioning immune system. So this is pointing out what kind of Yogi Bhajan, who came out with Kundalini Yoga, knew before there was even the field of psychoneuroimmunology, the yogis knew that the emotions and the immune system are directly linked. So if we're emotionally down, then our defense systems are lowered. This meditation stimulates the sympathetic nervous system and the right hemisphere to adjust themselves. In this process, you may go through various emotions as the glands start to shift their balance. That is fine. Relax and keep going until you are through the emotional inertia. Then you will feel light, energized, and hopeful. With gradual practice, you can take the time up to 31 minutes. At that level, your whole system is cleared and rejuvenated. The immune system will have new vigor and will not be blocked by inner conflict. This type of breathing is called the sun breath. So that's what the benefits and kind of science behind this is. So in Kundalini Yoga, we sit in certain positions, we put our hands in funny postures, and then we do certain things with our eyes and with our breath, and also often with mantras. And these combinations create recipes that shift the brain and the etheric bodies and the physical body and have a very, very powerful and immediate effects. And so the first thing we do is to pay attention to our posture. So if you are able to sit in easy pose, which is like this, feet together, they don't have to be a lotus, you can do that. Or if you're just sitting in a chair, that's fine. Just put your feet, please, flat on the floor, and don't slouch back against the back of your chair, but just sit upright. Just sit with your own support, not leaning back against the chair if you can. The main thing is to have a straight spine and a stable balance of your sit bones. So that's just the main thing. It's not like a big rule or anything, but we just want the spine vertical because the energy is going to be traveling in the spine. So we're going to use two different mudras. Mudra just means spiritual hand position. The first one is with the left hand, and the left hand might look right in the video, but it's left. This is called Surya Mudra. Surya means sun. So we're going to hold down the this is actually the sun finger. We're going to hold it down, and with the thumb pad over the fingernail. So we're going to hold it and just hold it just gently, easily right here. I'm going to hold this, okay, like this, all right? And the second one is just this very simple pointing posture here. And we're going to use that to hold the right nostril closed. Okay? All right, so that's, when we start, we're going to hold this position like this. Okay. Now, one other thing is that's very important is the breathing. So the breathing is the motor in this case, in this particular, these exercises called kriyas. So in this particular kriya, the breath is what really burns out, so to speak, or turns on the sun energy in your system. And so we're going to use something called breath of fire. So breath of fire is done through you inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And you inhale and exhale even amounts. And you just keep that going steadily. So breath of fire goes like this. And it's accompanied by a navel pumping. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, we're going to do this at about the rhythm that I've been doing it, which is around 3 times per second. Okay, all right, you just keep that going. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Are there any questions about how breath of fire works? You just pump the navel in and out. You keep the mouth closed. You go in and out through the nose, and then you just continue that process for the length of the kriya. And the first exercise, which is the head covered one, which I'm explaining to you now, it's only going to be 3 minutes long. So, and then you can, if you like this meditation, you can gradually build the time up over time. So once again, you're not going to hold your hand here, but I'll just show you. Okay. All right. So it's a pumping action of the breath, and you keep that going in and out. All right. And so we're going to do this for 3 minutes, and then when we end, I'll explain the ending part to you now, so that once we get there, there won't be an explanation. We can just do it. So the ending sequence is to put your hands in this position, and with the right thumb on top, and you're going to hold that here right in front of your throat. The throat is where the thymus is, which is key for the immune system. You put your elbows out like this, and you're going to pull, you're going to inhale, hold the breath, and pull your hands apart as hard as you can, and hold the breath as long as you can. So the insides of your hands here are going to face the throat. You're going to hold the breath and just pull like crazy. Pull, pull, pull. And when you can't pull anymore, you exhale. And we're going to do that 4 times. That'll be our little ending sequence. And the 4th one that we do, you're going to actually, and I'll mention it, you're going to exhale with your lips out like that, with the tongue curved back. All right. So the first 3 you can just exhale. However, the final and 4th one, you're going to put your lips out and have the tongue curled back against the roof of the mouth. Okay. And then we'll sit quietly like we do after all exercises, and just let the effects kind of do whatever they need to do inside the body. And that's when the real benefits accrue, is when we sit quietly after the exercise. Okay. So one thing just to be aware of is that it's kind of easy to let this slip while you're doing it. This here. This. So just pay attention and just keep it there. If it wants to slip, just keep some attention on that. Okay. Pretty simple stuff. Are there any questions before we start on how we're going to do this? Okay. All right. So the left hand is in this position. Just relaxed here at the side. We're holding the ring finger nail down with the thumb pad, and then we're doing this. We're holding this, and the breath of fire will be obviously only through the left nostril. So it'll be like that. All right. The eyes are not specified what to do with them, so you have the option of closing them or opening them 1/10 and looking at the tip of the nose. Either one is fine. And here we go. Keep going, halfway there. 30 seconds. Keep going. You can do it. And bring the hands up like this. Right thumb on top. Inhale. Hold the breath. Pull. Pull hard. Pull them out. Pull, 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 pull. Exhale. Okay, 3 more times. Inhale. Hold. Pull hard. Pull. Pull. Hold the breath. Exhale. 3rd time. Inhale. Hold. Pull hard. Pull. Hold. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Pull. Hold the breath. Pull. In a second, you're going to exhale through your lips sticking out and your tongue curled back. And exhale. And shake the hands out a little bit. And now just put the hands on your knees or on your lap. We're just going to sit and just sit quietly. This is the resting period, and we let the effects of the practice work on us now without doing anything. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much for participating in that. So we have the opportunity for sharing. The head covering is now optional. You can leave it on or take it off. We won't need it for the next exercise. So how did that affect you? I'd like to hear from you guys what your experience of doing that was. I'll start out. My experience of it was it felt like a major heating. I started sweating throughout the process, and also I felt highly energized and cleared. I'm not sure of what, but it definitely felt like it was raising inner heat, and this idea of burning something out, it felt like that was probably going on. So I feel like I just rode my bike for 20 minutes and in the hot sun. I've got so much young energy going here. So that's what happened with me. Dominic, do you want to share what happened with you?
Essentially identical. That's just what I would have said, except about the bicycle. It's different where I live. One thing I would add, curiously though, is that for a long time there are a lot of references to doctors making reference to how salutary fever is. Today, fever is considered a symptom that you're supposed to get rid of. But for centuries, doctors took it that if you could raise the fever high enough for long enough without killing the patient, you could pretty much kill any disease, like simply by basically what we're doing here. It just fascinates me.
Cooking it out of existence. Cool. All right. Thank you, Dominic. So who else would like to share about what your experience of this exercise was? Just 3 short minutes, but very powerful. Janice. Let me unmute you. I don't know why it's, yeah, there you are.
I found that I got very hot too, but I had trouble with the breathing,
Yeah.
to be honest, at the start. I find when I have my hand on my stomach, then I feel like I'm breathing correctly. So my first thing was, I'm not sure that I'm breathing correctly when I started it. And then I felt that occasionally I wanted to take a deep breath. So
That's fine. That's fine. It's normal in, first off, we're restricting one nostril, so we're only getting half the breath you would normally get. And I'm kind of bringing you guys along fast. I didn't like do a bunch of breath of fire with you. I just threw you right into a Kriya where there is breath of fire. And it's common that, you know, every 10 or 20 breaths, you just kind of want to take a breath, because the goal, the kind of practice is to make them even, but it's hard to always keep them even. So then sometimes you'll just tend to expel a little bit more air, and then you need to take a breath, but that's totally fine. You did fine. You did fine. The only thing to watch is, and this wasn't your case, but for some of us, just make sure that you don't let the hand position deteriorate. This is actually very, very important, that you keep it, your other finger straight, and not let them just kind of wander down.
before you start to do the fast breath, do you kind of take a breath and then kind of start the fast breath? So you're kind of holding part of your breath?
I think I probably subconsciously take a small breath, but to begin.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't do it on no breath.
Mm-hmm.
You have some in your lungs, and then you're pumping that amount in and out, but there's still like 1/3 or 1/2 breath in there. So you're not trying to exhale all your breath. It's going too fast for that. So, but it's a process that you learn over time. If you just do it for a few days, you'll have it.
Okay.
It's not that complicated, but it's just we're not used to doing such a thing. So it's a learning process. So, but you got heated up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. Okay. All right. It's called the Inner Sun. So it's heating you. Hi, Kevin. Welcome. We just did an exercise and we're sharing about it, and then we're going to do another one in a little while. So thank you, Janice. So yeah, someone else like to share about what happened with you.
Well, I had trouble, I hyperventilated and got dizzy. So then I had to take some, just stop breathing because I was getting so dizzy. And my stomach muscles aren't used to doing that.
So my suggestion for you, if I may make one, would be to just try breath of fire kind of by itself. And just try doing it for like 5 or 10 breaths and then stop. And wait a little while and then do it. Just teach yourself to do it that way.
Okay.
So the hyperventilation comes when we breathe in from the diaphragm up. And that's what
I was trying to put it up high, just taking little. Yeah,
that's not the thing.
Oh.
That's why you hyperventilated. You want to pump from the navel. You want this breathing to be low, like going in and out here.
Okay.
Don't think high, because that's what you restrict yourself.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get dizzy from the lack of oxygen.
That's what happened.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of breath moving in breath of fire. It's happening fast, but it's moving a lot of breath. And so what that does is it clears out the system, actually.
Well, I feel pretty clear.
Okay.
It felt really good to quit.
You survived it.
I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Well, who else?
I had a good experience with it. I've done it before, but I hadn't done it in this sequence with this hold before, or with the mudra. So but I've done breath of fire before. But I've never done it when I just woke up and like hadn't, been away. So it was pretty good to try that in that kind of scenario, because I could see, well, for one, I forgot, I've not been doing my pranayama. I have a few different pranayamas I usually do. I haven't been doing them. So it was a good reminder to do them. And then also I could see waking up and having to rush and doing that to get me going in certain circumstances that could be better. So I've been having really bad allergies, for example, lately, and it really cleared my sinuses. I put like some eucalyptus oil on first, but it was really helpful in clearing my sinuses, so much so that like usually the first thing that I want to do is like go to my neti pot or something, but it had a really strong effect, so that was good. But yeah, I feel enlivened and energy's flowing. I feel like my system's cleared out some.
Not bad for 3 minutes.
All the good stuff. Yeah.
We said works right away, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it did. So couple things. Thank you for the sharing. A couple things I'll mention. One is that I taught this in the sleep meetup, which we're not doing anymore, but if you guys want it, I'll send it to you. There's a quick little sequence of exercises that you do when you wake up, and it tends to wake you up, to help you wake up. And one of them includes breath of fire. So I can send that along. I'll send it to you guys. You can actually just do it in bed. You're just laying there and you do, just takes like a few minutes to do, and then it kind of tends to wake you up. So personally, my different sleep techniques that I've been doing have been working so well that when I wake up, I'm still kind of sleepy. So I've been using that to wake up with, and it's been helping a lot. So thank you, Anna. Anyone else? Yes. You have to unmute yourself.
There, hi.
There you go, hi.
I just felt, I don't know, lighter, freer. I didn't experience that extreme heat that people talked about. Maybe I wasn't doing it right.
No worries. It doesn't have to make you hot.
Yeah. But I was going to say that there are alternative cancer doctors who heat patients up in order to kill cancer cells.
Oh, wow.
Okay. They believe that they found that extreme heat, very high fevers will kill cancer cells.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I worked with such an alternative doctor. I had breast cancer 8 years ago, and I never did any of the conventional treatment. I've been fine ever since, but I worked with one of those doctors.
Oh, my word. Fantastic. Good to hear that. Well, saunas have been a treatment for all diseases, actually, almost for quite a long time. And that's very high heat.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same thing, though. It's a different kind of heat that gets an internal fever than a sauna, but saunas are probably good. But
that sounds really cool. Thank you for mentioning that. All right. Excellent. Okay. Anybody else?
Just shortly, because most of the things you mentioned happened to me as well. It was quite uncomfortable for a while because of the lack of oxygen. So I took a few deeper breaths. But I think it took me a while to learn how to do this breathing. I think they do it in the Bikram yoga as well. At the very end of the Bikram yoga, they do that too. And it was so it was uncomfortable for 3 minutes, but then refreshing afterwards. Now I did get heat. I got heat up as well.
All right. Thank you, Jarek. Excellent. Okay. All right. So, Guido, did you want to mention anything?
Yeah, just shortly. So most of the things were already said, but I experienced a really nice clarification of my energy flow system. So
beautiful.
This was, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome. All right, so we are going to move to the next exercise, and this one is called Burn Inner Anger. So that's the name of it. And the promise of this one is that if you get into the correct position and breathing and your hand angle, Kundalini Yoga is very much based on angles. It will rebuild within you a very powerful immune system. And if you do it for 40 days, it'll turn you into a different person. And so what it does is it burns out your inner anger, disposes of it, and the breathing part helps get rid of your body's weaknesses and impurities. So we mentioned in the previous exercise that I read that if you have depression, it can affect the immune system, but any negative emotion can affect the immune system. So by clearing inner anger, so this is basically an emotional and a physical clearing both. So first off is posture. So once again, we sit in easy pose, or if you're on the chair, you put your feet flat on the floor and just make sure your spine is straight. And we put our chin in just a little bit, and the chest out just a little bit. Not like totally military, but you just tuck your chin in a very slight amount, and that just tends to bring your chest out a little bit. Okay, so in the previous one we used the sun mudra. Okay, so we're going to use a very similar one this time with the right hand we're holding up Jupiter and Saturn fingers, and we're holding down Sun and Mercury fingers. Okay, so these two are held up like this, and this is held at a 60-degree angle. Okay, but it's straight, it's forward. So it looks like, gonna look like this. Okay, so 90, 45, 60. Okay. Okay, make the arms straight. Okay. All right, so we'll start that in a second. And then the left hand here is going to go right here on the heart center. Okay, so this will be our posture. I will push this back so you can see it. Okay, so that's going to be our position. All right, and you can relax for a moment while I explain how the breath works. Okay, so the eyes are going to be closed, and in this particular exercise, we're going to make an O with our mouth, like this, and we're going to inhale and exhale through the mouth. This inhale and exhaling through the mouth with this position is very good for getting the anger out. And so each breath is going to be 2 seconds in, 2 seconds out. So okay, so powerful in, powerful out with the O, all right? Okay, so both of these kriyas, it doesn't matter if you don't get heated up. It's okay, it's still gonna work. But both of them have to do with burning. So the first one was activating the inner sun, and many of us got heated, but it worked even if you didn't. And this one is burn the inner anger. So there's similar burning going on. First is heating, now burning. So Shirley mentioned the healing benefits she got from lots of internal heat. So there are many yogi exercises which essentially just raise the heat in the system for different purposes. So this is one of them. Okay, so then we're going to do it when we're done with this. We're going to do the ending sequence, which I'll explain now, so we don't have to go through the explanation at the end. So we're going to inhale at the end, deep, hold the breath for 10 seconds, stretch the arms up as much as you can, and stretch the disc. So you want to stretch the arms up, but also stretch up your spine. Stretch up, 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 and then exhale as hard as you can. You can exhale like cannon fire. It's like blast it out. And then we'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, hold for 10 seconds, stretch, 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 stretch the whole time. Blow the air out. Okay, so we'll do that 3 times at the end. So many of these kriyas have very, very specific ending sequences. So this is one of them. All right, any questions? Does it make sense? Okay, 11 minutes on this one. So just bear with it. Just do whatever. You can do it much more than you think you can, and you're going to get the benefits. Who doesn't want less inner anger? Doesn't feel good. So let's get it out. All right, so here we go. Jarek, I think maybe your arm is a little too high. Mouth is in an O shape. Left hand is on the heart. Inhale and exhale 2 seconds each and powerfully. And continue 2 seconds inhale, 2 seconds exhale. Come on, breathe powerfully. Inhale, powerful. Inhale, exhale, powerful. Get that anger out. Doesn't matter if you feel anger or not. We're not trying to feel it. We're just trying to do this breath. It'll automatically go out. You're doing great. Keep going. Well, we're halfway there. Continue. And relax the arms. Shake them out. And ending sequence. Inhale. Put the arms up. Hold. Stretch the spine up. Stretch, 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 stretch. And exhale hard. Arms down. Second one. Inhale, arms up. Hold. Hold 10 seconds. Exhale. Relax the arms. Shake them out. And third one. Final one. Inhale. Hold. Stretch up. Stretch up. Stretch the spine. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Hold. Exhale. And shake the arms out. And now we do the most important part, which is the sitting quietly, doing nothing. You can rest the arms, hands on the knees or in the lap. Doesn't matter if you meditate or not. You're just sitting here, eyes closed, and we're just letting the energy work itself. Doesn't matter if you feel anything or not. We're just sitting quietly. And just take a moment to gradually and gently come back to the awareness of the call at your own rate. Okay, a very powerful second exercise. For me, I felt a great stillness afterwards. It felt like I'd definitely done an inner workout. My whole face was somehow very activated. Like from here, like from my diaphragm up to my forehead is somehow very activated. I don't know what that means, but that's been my experience, and I just feel quite calm. Like it somehow calmed me down in some way. Even though it was an intense exercise, I feel very calm now, very clear. So that was my reaction to it. I'd like to hear from any of you that would like to share.
Right now, my body is seething with energy. It feels like it's flooded with oxygen. It feels fantastic. Same, like mentally very clear. I have a specific comment though. I've been practicing with my hands over my head for 7 months. This is the first time I've been able to hold position in this very difficult Kriya. So every single one of you, kudos, good for all of you, because this is very difficult. This is the hardest Kriya that I've ever done so far. So that's very important that you recognize that to yourself. This was not easy. So thank you for your effort and your endurance and your participation in this, your perseverance.
It was a tough one, for sure. But a lot of times the tough stuff is what makes the result. So I figured you guys could handle it. So thank you, yes, for your participation. Thanks for sharing, Dominic. Who else would like to share what their experience was during this? And by the way, you can start, you don't have to do it for 11 minutes. You can start with, say, 3 minutes and build up. So just know that. You don't have to do it. We did 11 today. 11 is a lot. Actually, I cut it short. We did it for 8 minutes. But it's not necessary to do it for 8 to 11 minutes. You can start, as I said, and build up, and that's just totally fine. If you just need to start, you can start with 1 minute. You're going to get a result by doing it and then, as I mentioned at the beginning of our call, if you really want to kind of seal the deal and get the max benefits, work up to 11 minutes and then do that 40 days in a row without missing a day, and you'll be totally transformed. Okay, who else would like to share what happened with you? I know. Yeah, Anna.
Well, I could feel how it was activating the right side, so the right side, for those of you who don't know, the right side channel, there's like central channel in yoga. This is a yogic system. So central channel, left channel, right side channels, and anger runs in the right side channel. So I could definitely feel that getting active, and through the right hand, and there's a connection between the heart and the hand, and the energy from the heart, that particular bioenergy aspect runs out through the hand. And so anyway, I could really feel it activating it and clearing it. The only issue I had was I have a history of many whiplash incidents, and so everything having to do with my neck and my traps, I have to be really careful with. So I had to take multiple rests, and then at one point stop for a while to let my body deal with that. But I definitely felt a clearing and a lightening, but something to watch, because then if I'm struggling to like hold it up, and I know that I could be causing myself injury later on, then that defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Thank you for adjusting it to fit your physical needs. It's okay to push your endurance in Kundalini Yoga, but do not push yourself into an injury. There's a difference between physical effort required to keep up and then actual pain type of injury, so don't do that. In your case, Anna, you might want to do 1 minute cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Like do a minute, rest for a couple minutes, do a minute. You'll still get benefits from it. So
yeah. No, that does sound good. And I've hurt myself in yoga numerous times trying to do things after, having had these car accidents. So I'm really careful now. So
yeah, I mean, you can definitely hurt yourself in yoga, and that's not what this is about. So take care of yourself and use whatever precautions you need to. There's no need to force yourself beyond what your body should be doing. So thank you very much for the sharing, Anna. Somebody else, what happened with you? Guido.
I felt quite hot, actually hotter than the exercise we did before, and also quite energized, but somehow different energy than on the other exercise we did before.
Mm-hmm.
And together, it's quite interesting. Now I have the impression that somehow there's an inner light coming up. So
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Really quite nice, yeah.
Yeah. These two exercises were not necessarily designed to be done in a sequence. This is not a program where you do one and then the other. They're just two separate ones that we happen to both practice on the same day. So if you want to do them in a different order or just do one of them, that's totally fine. I will be sending you the text and with the description for both of these exercises by email. As I mentioned before, if you haven't given me your email, then you have to put it, and you want this, you have to put it in the text chat during this call, and then I will be able to send the stuff to you. Otherwise, it will have to be telepathy. So thank you, Guido. Who else would like to share what happened with you? Kevin.
It felt like a nice way to access my anger. I've been trying different ways to access my anger, and I have a lot of punching energy. I punching bags, but the bringing in the breath is something that has felt like it's missing, and so that was nice. And is there anything wrong with actually intentionally feeling into your anger?
Not at all.
Okay.
That's wonderful. If you want to generate that anger and just actually let it just pump out as you do that breath, that's a good participation. It's not necessary, but it can only just, add to the process. If it's distracting you from the performance of the Kriya, emphasize the physical part, because it's mechanically doing something, whether or not you're thinking about the anger. It is doing it. It's clearing it out of the subconscious. But if you want to feel it and just kind of get that anger and get that going and breathe it out, that's fine.
It works nicely in conjunction with the breathing.
Yeah. It's a specific breath that gets the anger out. I mean, if you notice when you're really angry, you're not breathing normally through your nose. That's not how it works. You're there's something else going on. That's anger is like, so.
Yeah. And were the arms supposed to be held at 60 degrees? Is that right?
The right arm is at 60. Yeah.
60. Okay. And it's like this with the
hand?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I liked the position, the hand over the heart. It somehow felt all organically connected with my anger, somehow the physical position felt like it accessed it, and at the end I felt energized and good. So yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. That's the magic of Kundalini yoga, is that these guys have figured out you just put your body in certain positions and your fingers in these funny configurations, and then you do this stuff with your breath, and then this stuff mechanically works. You don't need to believe in it. You don't have to understand it. It just does stuff to you. And that's why I dig it so much, because I am longing for methods and techniques that have no connection to whether or not I believe in them. They just work. I don't want to have to believe in it. I mean, believing is fine. I'm not saying believing is bad, but I just want techniques that it's like a recipe, you know. If you make scrambled eggs according to a certain recipe and you do it right, you're going to get a certain taste. It doesn't matter if you believe in scrambled eggs or not. It's still going to happen. So these are recipes, they're energy recipes, and they work.
And can I ask you a question just about if you, I assume you've done it for the 40 days and you said it's transforming personally. Can you say it, or maybe you already did, what that transformation was?
So I have not done this one for 40 days. So here's what's going on. I have a particular practice that I'm doing, and I'm trying to keep that up on a regular basis. I've done many of them for 40 days and way more than 40 days. And I can talk more about that in a second, but not this one. And I teach new ones almost every Sunday. So every week I'm teaching a new technique. I haven't had time to do them all for 40 days before I teach them, but I get it. I know the techniques anyway, you know, so I can't give you a personal testimony of what this one's like for 40 days. I did a similar one, which is called Sudarshan Chakra Kriya, which was very, very powerful, and got rid of a lot of negative energy, a lot of emotion, just very, very transformative. You know, there's a number of ones that I've done that are quite similar to this that I've, you know, practiced for, you know, some of them over 100 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've gotten the benefit. I mean, Kundalini yoga in general is what actually contributed to my transition into PNSE in the fall of last year. So,
Wow.
So just to give you the quick story, I did my FC in 2016, and I was never sure whether I transitioned or not. It was always like I can't really tell, and I don't know, and all this other garbage was going on. And so things really started changing for me, more so when the meetups, which you guys are all in now, but the meetups weren't always happening. The alumni community kind of organically started on its own without Jeffrey's help. And that's fine. He's glad it's here. And so I was at the beginning of that. And so as I was going to all these meetups and getting a Sangha going with everybody, things were starting to change. And anyway, the kind of punchline here is that in the fall of 2018, I finally got to the point where I was just saying, okay, I have to just stop even paying attention to anything that Jeffrey says at all. I'm not going to read any of his emails, look at any of his videos anymore. I'm not going to even go to any meetups. I just dropped all of that. And then I did two things. I started really steady on the Kundalini yoga. You're asking about results, Kevin, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of Kundalini yoga, and then the other thing I did was the dismissing technique of clearing emotions. And I did that a lot. And so as far as I can tell, it was that recipe of just stopping to listen to what anyone else was saying about PNSC, and just dropping all of that, stopping all the meetups. I wasn't going to any. But the only one I continued was the one I was hosting on Wednesday night, it's a Levinson group meetup. I was still doing that one because I was the host of it. But everything else I discontinued. And so personally, I believe that for most people, or not most, but for many people, what gets you into PNSC is not one thing, but a cocktail. And so that Kundalini yoga was a strong ingredient in the cocktail for me. And so I've been keeping it up. I mean, I did Kundalini yoga since like 30 years ago, but I haven't kept it up this entire time. And for some reason, I somehow got the guidance that I was supposed to. Okay. The reason I started was because of the sleep. the sleep. I was using Kundalini yoga to help my sleep, and then we segued into this meetup. So
That's great. Thanks for that. That's really interesting. And just one more quick question: the sleep. Are you have you shared some of those, or will you share some of those? Because that's something I could really use.
yeah. So let me check right now how many of those videos are actually. Well, okay. I'm not going to waste the time checking, but I think some of those are posted. If you go to the forum and you click on the sub forum where it says video meetups, and then they're listed in alphabetical. I think there's a bunch of the sleep ones are on there.
Okay.
The current one I'm using is called How to Be Young, Special, and to Sleep. That's the current Kriya that I'm doing. And I will go ahead and, I'm not going to teach it today, but I will send it in the email that I send you guys after today's call. It may not come today, but it'll come soon. I promise it'll come either today or tomorrow, but I will go ahead and send that Kriya that I'm using right now for sleep. I'll send it to you.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And can you tell me how to access the forum, where I go to access that?
Okay, so you go to perfectlyok.org.
Okay.
And you have to have a login.
Okay.
Dominic, can you put Patty's email address into the text chat right now?
I've got her email address.
Oh, you do? Okay. So you get the login stuff from Patty.
Okay, great.
I'm not sure how, I can't remember how you get to become a member.
Okay.
Yeah, you either join on the line or you'd email her. I'm not sure what it is anymore, but she'll let you know.
Great.
She's the one that runs the forum. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And we should all thank her, by the way. She is keeping this community together with her weekly email. It's a huge job, and she created that forum for all of us. So it's utterly fantastic what Patty's doing. Patty is awesome.
Yeah.
And an angel.
Yeah.
So, Janice. Thank you, Kevin. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Janice. There you are.
So I have a question about the sub forum then. So we go to the perfectlyok.org and then the sub forum is?
So you just click on where it says forums, and there's a big list of what the forums are. You scroll all the way to the bottom and it says video meetups.
Oh, okay.
And so then there's a list of all the different meetups where people have recorded their meetups and they post them.
Okay.
So underneath that header, video meetups, just look down alphabetically. You'll see Clearing the Subconscious at Warp Speed. That's today's meetup.
Okay.
Then you'll see a bunch of posts in there with videos of previous meetups. And then down a little further, if I'm not mistaken, there's a sleep one, because that was the genesis of this. I mean, the sleep one only went for a couple months, but this one has had a lot more legs to it. But I had about 20 sleep techniques, and I taught the best ones in there. So.
Okay, great.
Love you, Mary. See you. Yeah.
And
they really work. They really work.
I send my email to you by going on to chat.
So yeah, you just do you know where the chat is on here?
I see it under
Click chat and then type it in there.
I can just do that now even?
Yeah, do it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so who else would like to share what happened to you during this second exercise? All right, so very good. So thanks for your participation in that one. Now we're going to do the tuning out sequence. So that is to sing a little song, and then we'll do the Satnam mantra. So I'm going to play this song, sharing the screen here, and the sound. Okay, once again, we rub our hands put together and put them at the chest.
So David, she really wants to do that exercise too. I don't know if it's allowed.
It's allowed, yeah. It's allowed. Okay, here we go. Long time sun. Wait.
May the long time sun shine upon you.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, sorry.
Surround you.
Hold on.
And the pure light within you.
Can you guys hear it? Okay, all right. Let me get back to the beginning.
For prosperity, now we're going to tune out with the long time sunshine song. Take the hands, press them against the heart center once more, and we'll sing. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Now long Sat Nam.
Okay, and now we'll finish with the mantra Sat Nam with a long Sat and a short Nam. Do it 3 times. Inhale. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Okay, it's been my pleasure to share this time with you. Thank you so much for being here. It's really powerful in a group. It's been awesome. Welcome to your life with less anger. And thanks a lot. Great having you. See you later.